Hey Michael, how many deals you got now?
That's 17.
Just dropped over 100k of my own money.
The challenges of scaling a service accommodation business.
So you're at that point right now where you've essentially hit that big 10k per month.
Yeah. This is the revenue that we produce, so just under 700k for the year.
What would you say are some of like the biggest mistakes that you see people make?
That's the thing, that's part of the flat plan. That's going to allow us to get to 100 properties in less than 12 months.
I need practical, tactical tips.
Put all your eggs into making sure that these foundations are in place.
Cash flow wise, how much would you say those 14 deals are generating per month profit?
Just about 10k.
10k a month.
Consistent, yeah.
We have got some serious heavy hitters attending this specific event right here. Got people here doing 10k, 15k. We've even got some people doing 50k a month profit, and some of these guys, a few of these guys are our students that are doing it. So we're going to have them sharing value, sharing game, giving knowledge, strategies, tips on what they're doing, how they've grown their business, the value they've taken from the program, and just what they've been able to do, man, throughout that time. So we're going to make sure it's going to be a value-packed one and just share all the knowledge, share all the game. No gatekeeping.
Yeah, certain things shouldn't be doing, etc., etc. And look, the reason why I'm going to share this is just to showcase like the mentality I had once upon a time and how lost I was, if that makes sense, and how I just viewed life a certain type of way. And I'm talking super, super lost. I can't describe how dumb I was. And not even like school dumb, as in like just how you operate, just dumb type of thing. Because I do remember like once upon a time, I was still working these times. I was like, no way, if I could just hit that 10,000, I can hit 10,000 pounds a month. My life is sorted. But now, like I said, going back to what I said before in terms of life, like even income generated, like since I started off in business life, it's been in the millions. The last 6 months or so, I was in Dubai, I was living there. I'm kind of living like between here and there, to be fair. I'm thinking about living elsewhere across the globe. Like I can do that. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't need to be in the UK. Every single person that's come through has literally discovered me online or one way or the other. And as a result, you kind of see what's taking place and you wanted to get involved and you so did get involved. That's this part. But it also does the same thing with these two as well. We're able to attract investors, people that want to invest. We're also able to attract deals, property deals, rent-to-rents, block deals, attracting landlords, estate agents, developers. Like we're able to continue. Like these are like literally all of these things we're able to attract just because of the personal brand, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, like in terms of some of the actions that you guys could take to allow you to start taking small steps towards that, there's quite a few, to be fair, and they're very, very simple. And you can start very, very small. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. It doesn't have to be nothing mega uncomfortable. It's just it's just the starting point. So that's the first point. The second point, documentation only. Just show people what you're doing. Just showcase your journey. People love that, man. I've seen so many people do that, literally just starting from scratch. Like they're not that person. Like they're still trying to build themselves. They're literally in the same position as you guys. You get what I'm saying? I'm seeing like 17-year-olds do this. Literally 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds that are in the property game, that are still trying to build themselves up by just showcasing their journey. And people love it, man. People love that. And I know they're able to actually attract quite a few opportunities just by doing that alone, to be fair. And the third one, I think this is where most people fall off, is just the consistency. If you're going to do it, just don't stop doing it. Just be consistent with it. And that's like with anything in life, really. Like no progress is made without there being the correct amount of consistency. What we're doing right now is basically fueling all of those businesses, the rent-to-rent business, the property management business, with utilizing the personal brand that's currently being built. Obviously, when it comes to management, when it's management, like we don't have to put any money into it. We're getting other people's money into it. So it's their deal. We're managing it for them. We're doing everything end to end. And obviously, they're making a nice profit. So are we as well. So it's a lot more scalable. Like with the management, and that's why the management model works so beautifully as well, because there is no cap with the money that you have, if that makes sense. That's the thing, that's part of the flat plan that's going to allow us to get to 100 properties within less than, I'll say, 12 months.
For yourself, of course, you were a part of the program. I think you joined like a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, could be 10 months.
Where are you at now with your business, your rent-to-rent business, in terms of deals and also cash flow as well?
We did a podcast about Two months ago, didn't we?
It was 2 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago. At that time, 7 units, I believe. Yeah, so since then, I've got 9 now. And last month, I think I actually reached out to you to share one of the win I had, which was hitting 11.3k profit. That wasn't including the latest 2 I've taken on, by the way.
Okay.
So just to part this, and that was with 7 units.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a good month for us. I think obviously we've got 9 now, projecting to make between 10 to 12. That's profit after paid all the rent, all the bills.
So you're at that point right now where you've essentially hit that big 10k per month.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it sometimes. When you get started, your whole aim is like, you know what, I want to hit 10k. Like,
Yeah, that's the
when you hit
that's the
10k,
magic number.
you make it. When you're in the business and you're in that zone to keep growing, the 10k doesn't really phase you anymore. It's like, you know what, okay, I need to keep growing. That's the plan for me, bro. Next, I think, is take a couple of more Airbnb. Obviously, we're coming into the end of the year, and then from January we go again.
Yeah.
We'll probably be looking at some different strategies. You know, social housing, maybe HMOs. But we want to have kind of that mixture of things.
I got to touch on this, man, because you was / are a student of the program. For yourself, like, how much of a role do you feel like that played with getting you to where you are today? Honestly.
A lot, to be fair. Even I spoke to a few people today, and one thing I said to them, and I always say, and I said it in my podcast as well, and I will always say that, is when you invest in yourself, you succeed in your business. You never ever look back in that. Why? Because, and I said that to a few of the guys I met today, is like, if I didn't, it's not even about the money. If I didn't get the support I needed, maybe I wouldn't have been here, you know, sat on this chair telling you about these numbers.
Of course.
I think it's one thing is when you have this support or you pay a fee, you want to get the best value out of it. Meeting people, you know, you get access to meet a lot of people. That's one thing. Like Tyrone, for example, he's obviously very big in the industry. I'm from Leeds, he's from Leeds.
Yeah.
We never met.
You guys were having a good chat over there.
We met today in your event. So it's stuff like that. I took a lot of value. I've met a lot of people. We're doing some collaboration together with you guys as well, you know, helping with deals. So it opens a lot of doors. Not only it helps you start getting in the business, but it helps you open a lot of doors into other field within the property.
I'm someone that just started off in the game, bro. I'm looking at you, bro. You hit 10k a month. I want to get to where you are, bro. That's my dream. Like, what are you telling me, bro? I need practical, tactical tips and strategies to get me to where I am now to where you are.
My advice is always even if you've got a day job, ask yourself, what's your intention? What's your purpose for starting this business, right? If your intention is, I want to grow, I want to own a business, have your job if you still got your job. But when you get to 2 units, my advice is quit that job. Daytime, focus on just growing that business, right? For evening, if you need money, go get an evening job. Go get a delivery job if you have to, right? We've all been there in a position where we're having to deliveries or other jobs. And it's not a bad thing. I'm starting a business, right?
Yeah, of course.
Think where you're going to be in 2 years' time. It's all about relationship as well. So once you've got your knowledge, is go out there, meet people, meet the right people, and see what value you can add for them. If you think you can add some sort of value, they will definitely in return give you some value. So meet the right people, go out there, build rapport, build relationship, get your hands on 2 units, quit your job, focus on that. Trust me, you can make it work. I've done it. You can do it.
Would you feel like some of the biggest lessons there were in your journey, and some of the even the hardest lessons that you've learned, that if you hadn't gone through that, or if you haven't changed something, wouldn't have got you to where you are today?
Delegated work, very, very important in business. You know, when I had 2 or 3 units, I used to do all the cleaning myself, and it does help because obviously you're able to make your initial investment back quicker. But then even when I had 5 units, I was still trying to save money by doing 2 cleaning myself and then delegating the 3 cleaning to somebody else. But then what I didn't notice is, like, let's say the 2 hours cleaning, I've got cleaning to do.
Yeah.
It would take me 4 hours a day, 2 hours in each apartment. I could have spent that 4 hour doing something else within my business. Systemize and delegate the work you need to, so it frees your time to work on your business. Work on the business, not in the business.
Not in the business, yeah.
Do both until a certain level. In this game, you've got to have thick skin. It can feel like it's taking you months to get started. Do not give up. Try different strategies. Speak to loads of different people. Like, there's so many different people in the community, and speak to every single people. Like, speak to Yusuf, speak to Andrew. There's Tyrone available. There's myself. There's Umair. There's so many people, right? And go and speak to 5 different people and see what strategy has worked for them, right? And now you go and try those 5 different strategies and see what works for you, right?
Yeah.
Because what might work for me might not work for you. Trust me, once you see the first deal, the whole fruitful business will start.
We're out here. We're still masterminding. We're doing our stuff. you guys are interested, want to learn more, want to get involved, let us know.
I came across Yusuf, I joined the course, and that's where I got started, man. It took me 4 months to get my first unit, but once I got that unit, I got the second one 2 weeks later, and then the third one came about maybe a month later, and then by the end of that year, I had 4 units. And then the next year, I took on a house with 6 units in there, so then I had 10. And so I think I got up to about 15 units or so, and I lost some units. You know, I take big risks, so I've lost a lot of money. Took units where I wasn't allowed to do it, or the numbers were bad, and so lost the units. But now where we are is here. So this is a screenshot that I took today. So currently we are on 33 units, mixture of rent-to-rents and management units as well. So far this year, so from January till now, we've had 710 bookings, and this is the revenue that we've produced. So just under 700k for the year. We are on track. So right now we are a 6-figure business, but we are on track to get to 7 figures. And this all started from a guy who did a degree, worked a job for 6 years, and said I'm going to give service accommodation a try. And I'm nothing special, guys. I'm just a typical guy, and now we're producing things like this. And so I say all of this to let you know that it's possible for everyone. You just got to put in the grind. The challenges of scaling a service accommodation business, it's not easy. It's not as easy as pick up the phone, call the landlord, you get it, and then you run the units. The more units you get, the more difficult things become if you don't systemize things properly. The key thing you need to focus on is replacing the things that you're doing. At the beginning, you're going to be doing everything. Chatting to all your guests, maybe you might even be doing the cleaning. You'll be setting up the listings yourself. Like, see, you was telling me today you were setting up one of his units. It takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of energy. You said you had, what, 4 hours of sleep or something?
4 hours of sleep and then 4 hours of drive.
Not easy.
Leads.
Not easy. Imagine doing that when you get 20 units, 30 units. It's impossible. And this is the key thing you need to take away. If you can't systemize the business, you're not going to be able to scale it. You're going to be stuck where you are. Then you have your housekeeping systems. So this one is quite easy to set up. So make sure you have your cleaning checklist. You have a guide. So anytime a new cleaner joins, they know exactly where to find all the cleaning items, how they need to clean the properties, what they need to be checking for. And when you get things like hot tubs, so we got our first unit, 4-bedroom house, 3 bathrooms. It has a hot tub, it has a cinema room. So this one has been a little bit of a headache because no cleaner knows how to do it. And so what I've had to do is learn how to do it myself. I've gone there, I've actually drained the hot tub, I had to scrub it down myself. But after I've done it once, guess what I've done? I've created a cleaning guide. Well, not a cleaning guide, but I've created a guide for how to turn over a hot tub. So now, anytime a new cleaner goes in there, here's the guide, you know how to do it. Yeah, I've had enough headaches, man. I tell these guys to do it. I give them, before I had the guide anyway, I told them how to do it. And they say they do it, but they forget to turn it on. The hot tub is either deflated, doesn't have enough water in it, and of course we get complaints from guests. So make sure that you have these checklists in place. Then of course, you then optimize it. You make it simpler. You do it in such a way that it's easily repeatable, that anyone can read it. So one thing you're gonna have is, if you want cheap cleaners, a lot of the time, they don't really speak a lot of English. So they don't read, and so do not make your things wordy. Use more pictures, use more videos. It'll be so that's one thing you can do when it comes to optimizing. And of course, automation can be done using the channel manager. So now, I don't think about when the cleanings are happening. Everything is scheduled automatically, or my VA makes sure that everything is done properly. Or you can even use Turn On, which is another alternative to your cleaning system. You have your check-in and check-out systems. This one is quite simple. So how are people accessing the property? How are people leaving the property? Where they put in the keys? Just have standard processes. So it can be difficult sometimes to have one way of checking in, because sometimes you have to use a physical key, sometimes you have to use a smart lock, sometimes you have to use lock boxes. I have a thing about lock boxes. I just don't like them, but unfortunately, they are one of the cheapest things to use, and they are simple to install, but managing them can be a headache. You have to change the codes each time. You have to log those codes on a particular system. But that's what all of this is about. Make sure that you have a process for changing the code. Now, I'll tell you one of the processes that we use. So but I'm not going to tell you where the property is, otherwise you'll be able to get it. So one thing that we do is that anytime the cleaner cleans the property, they change the code. But it's done in such a way that we would know what that code is, even if they don't tell us. So what we do is it's a mixture of the checkout date, the date that they clean the property, and so that's what the code is. So even if the cleaners changed it and they don't tell us, we know what the pattern is, if you know what I mean. And that sort of thing can be automated as well. You can use the AI tool to go into your system and to give it a script like, anytime you want to change the logbox code, look at the date that the guest checked out, or look at the date that the cleaner cleaned, and then this should be the format of the code. Stuff like that. Optimize. So switch to smart entry systems. This is the simplest, but the most expensive. If you can put a smart lock on every door, amazing. Because you can link that to automation tools and that can all be done. But quite expensive and it's not applicable to every property. But where you can, do use smart entry systems. And of course, you have your automated messages, automated code generation that you can set up as well. And then you have your marketing and growth systems. So how are you going to keep reaching out to guests? How are you going to make sure that you're tracking your review processes? How are you going to make sure that you're getting more direct bookings? So systemize, have a plan in place, have a document written out of the process of, okay, cool, when the guest leaves, when do we chat to them? Even when the guest checks in, when do we chat to them to try and offer them maybe early check-in, late check-out, you know, if they want a chef, etc., etc. I thought here content plan as well, because social media is a big way that you can market and grow your properties. Saeed is just left, but I know he uses social media a lot. I don't do this at the moment, a bit shy of social media, but it's something that can definitely help grow your direct booking business. Optimize. So like what I showed you in the first slide, we'll go back to it here. This is our channel manager, and this actually tells you where our bookings are coming from. So you can see this year, most of our bookings have come from Airbnb. A lot of our bookings have come from Booking.com. We've had a core of our bookings or a core of our income from direct bookings. So then from here, you can see, okay, which platforms are working, which platforms aren't. Expedia, tiny percentage. VRBO, very tiny percentage. So you can see that, okay, cool, maybe I need to spend a little bit more time to see where I can improve on those systems. So that's part of the optimizing. If I go back to it, yeah, optimize, and of course, automate your processes. So you can send out an email after a guest checks out, maybe 24 hours after they check out. You can even set up a marketing campaign by using things like, what's it called? Something wonky that I've got what it's called. Or you can just use your channel manager, which is what I do. Schedule that a week after the guest checks out, they sent out this email about booking direct of us. This is a summary basically of the things that you need to be doing to make sure that everything's systemized in such a way that you can keep growing. So have your SOPs in place, have all your documentation, have your centralized tools. It's hard work. It's hard work. But one principle that I like to work on is do all the hard work at the beginning. Like put all your eggs into making sure that these foundations are in place. Because when you do grow in the future, it's going to be much, much easier to grow. It's hard to fix something that's grown. Very, very difficult. So start from the beginning. Outsource your roles and make sure things are repeatable. Things are copy and paste basically.
The level you're at right now, give me an understanding, bro. What level are we talking right now between when you started to where you are now?
First started 1 unit. Right now I'm taking on my own apart hotel, 30 units in one building.
Yeah.
It just drops over 100k of my own money, like reinvesting profits from the Airbnb empire. That's the level I'm on right now, where I'm able to just do that and, you know, not need an investor, not need loans. Just casually able to just take on deals like that.
That's powerful, bro, man. Honestly, that's powerful, man. The fact that you mentioned that you don't even need investors, you don't need no banks. Like I'm my own bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's sick, bro. And if I'm not mistaken, we even spoke about this before. Like in the last couple of months, you took on like 20, 30 deals in the last couple of months.
Exactly that.
People have been in the game for a lifetime. Don't even have 30 deals. You know what I mean? It's true, though. It's true. What would you say are some of like the biggest mistakes that you see people make that get started off with this business and that try grow it and build it?
So they think that they just need to provide a nice property and that's it. That's what I thought. But doesn't matter how nice the property is. If your hospitality is poor, you won't succeed in this business. If you look at any luxurious hotel, you know, the Shard, the Atlantis, the Royal, I noticed hospitality first before I noticed luxury. How they treating you, how they're making you feel special, how they're communicating with you. What's the service like? That's hospitality. A lot of people starting Airbnbs, they think they just need to provide a nice property without hospitality. They get a few bad reviews. Airbnb suspending their listing, they can't get bookings. People aren't stupid, people read reviews before they book. Go on Airbnb, look at the high performing listings in that area, take note of the location, try get an Airbnb in that location. Also, look at what the top rated hosts are doing, like what amenities are they providing. When you visit places, instead of staying in hotels, book with a super host or a guest favorite Airbnb place and look at what they're doing and try replicate that. Look at the service, look at the communication, replicate what they're doing and what they're providing. Try and meet as many developers as you can. And also, like, when you see a building under construction, a new development, get access to that developer of that building. I'll try to expose myself to as many developers as possible.
What about people that just struggle to get deals? Like, they struggle to get the people to agree to give them deals, because a lot of people are like that.
Meet them in person. It might be more time consuming, but in person, 10 times more effective. When they see you in person, they could like you. They could like something about you. I've had a situation where I've met someone in person 6 months down the line. They've reached back.
I think, you know what, just to add on to that as well, I think that's where a lot of people go wrong that are doing like property Airbnb, is that they never follow up with people. Like, they just, and I used to be like that as well. I used to be like, this person, they're not interested, forget about them. You know what I mean? But bro, little do people know that simply just checking in with them. Oh, by the way, are you still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, we've got so many opportunities like that, to be fair, bro. And I'm getting, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's the same with you.
Yeah, 100%.
You followed up quite a lot of people.
100%. Just from direct bookings alone, we're over £1 million net in just direct bookings. And how I describe and how I've been able to accumulate more direct bookings is, amazing hospitality. So your hospitality will determine your customer retention rate. So when people book with you, if they've got a bad experience, they're not going to return back. Your hospitality is going to determine what your customer retention rate is. So retention rate is the rate of customers that are returning to book with you. And I've noticed across my portfolio, we're looking at a 30 to 40% customer retention rate for customers returning back and booking direct with myself. Also, credibility and trust. So being on Google and Trustpilot for reviews. People want to see reviews before they go and book on your website. So just being on Trustpilot and Google reviews for your business will boost credibility, and of course having your own website. And another thing is capturing email addresses. So every time someone books on Airbnb or Booking.com, we get their email address. And nearly 7 years of operating, how many emails do you think I'd have after 7 years of operating and having, thousands of customers every year? I'll have thousands of email addresses. So we're able to use that to market and get more direct bookings as well. So that's how I accumulated over £1 million in direct bookings alone. I've been doing Airbnb for nearly 7 years. I haven't seen anyone in the UK, 50 plus properties minimum, that, is an Airbnb super host with these kind of monster stats of rating. I don't know anyone in the UK, 50 plus properties minimum, that has 1,000 reviews plus, and, that kind of Airbnb rating. I haven't seen it with my own two eyes. So it's obvious that I've got a formula that works when it comes to hospitality, and also when it comes to getting 5-star reviews as well. So I'm just going to share some of my secrets on how I've been able to get my Airbnb profile to this level. And also Airbnb are now suspending listings that are getting bad reviews. So there's never been a more important time to provide amazing hospitality due to the consequences of not getting 5-star reviews now. Ask for a review, because I've noticed a lot of guests, they have an amazing experience, but it's almost like they expected that and they don't leave a review because they got what they expected. But capturing that 5-star review by asking for it, I've increased the number of 5-star reviews by, I'd say, triple the amount. And also, people are more likely to leave a good review when you ask them, because they see it that you take it seriously. So not only do we ask for a 5-star review, but we also let the guests know that we've left them a 5-star review as well. So when a guest books a property, a guest on Airbnb can get reviewed, and some guests have anxiety that because they left the place dirty, that the host is going to leave them a bad review. But even if the guest has left the place dirty, we thank the guests for leaving the apartment tidy and tell them straight, because we've left them a 5-star review, so that they can leave a 5-star review as well, and we ask that back. So what we're doing here is we're actually using the law of reciprocity. For those that don't know what that is, the law of reciprocity is, it's a psychology tactic where if you be nice and say you've done something for someone, they're more likely to reciprocate that favor of doing that to you. So we thank all guests for leaving their place tidy, even if they've left it dirty. We told them we've left a 5-star review, and we thank them for that. And we asked that we did ask for a small favor of them returning a 5-star review in return, and that we've left them a 5-star review. And 90% of the time, guests reciprocate that favor back by giving a 5-star review. Even if they didn't want to give a 5-star review, this script almost lets them want to return that favor. This is what I've been doing for the past nearly 7 years, and it contributes to why I've been a 6-year superhost with over 1,000 5-star reviews. And also, I think a massive mistake a lot of hosts make is, when they get damage to their property, they rush to submit a damage claim on Airbnb. They rush to make a damage claim, and what this does is you're leaving the guest an opportunity to retaliate. So let's say an Airbnb guest books your property, they damage the TV. Rather than submitting a damage claim on day 1, submit it on day 14, 1 hour before it expires. Why should you do this? So I'm going to tell you why you should do this, because if you did this on day 1, the guest is going to see you submitted the damage claim, and then they're just going to retaliate with a 1-star review. Like, they're not going to retaliate. They're not going to leave a positive review if you could have left a damage claim. They're just going to retaliate. So it's best you master the art of timing. Master the art of timing. Whether you submit your damage claim on day 1 or day 14, it makes 0 difference to your payout when it comes to that damage claim. So master the art of timing and wait 1 hour before the review period expires to submit your damage claim. That by the time the guest has seen it, they're not even going to be able to leave a review. But yeah, a lot of hosts, they get 1-star reviews because they submitted a damage claim, the guest didn't agree with it, and the guest has retaliated with a 1-star review. This is how you can avoid that.
One thing that I learned that really stuck with me was a technique called the thought replacement technique, and how it works is very simple. Let's say you just constantly have negative thoughts, and you think a negative thought. I think of one negative thought. Let's just say I'm not smart enough. How it works is you just simply identify that and replace that with the opposite thought. I am smart enough. I can make it work. But you're like, the thing is, when I first heard it, I'm like, it sounded a bit kumbaya. You know what I mean? Like, it just sounded iffy. Like, just weirdo stuff. And to be fair, I even tried it, because obviously these guys are telling me about it, and they're like on a certain level, so I'm like, well, I'm going to listen to you guys. So I tried it, but it didn't really work straight away. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't a straight away thing. It felt very, very weird. But then the more I started doing it, slowly I started noticing it different. It's funny because when you repeat something to yourself over and over again, I don't know like the psychological wiring behind why you just eventually start to believe it. But I swear to God, I just slowly started to believe it because I just kept repeating it to myself. And I saw it. I swear to God, wow, like, because you're telling it to yourself. It's like you're telling the other stuff to yourself, and now you're telling this to yourself, and it's like you're repeating it over and over again. So it's like, well, yeah, I am that guy. It kind of goes back to what I said before when I had that talk, and when I was describing the boss side and the bitch side, because it kind of fits in perfectly with the thought replacement technique, because the first thought is coming from the bitch side, and then the replacement thought is coming from the boss side.
So by you repeatedly doing that, you're adding more power or more fuel to your boss side. You're continuously affirming your boss side over and over again, and it gives it more strength, and you're able to grow it more and more. It's just reps. It's like if you go to the gym and lift weights, and you keep doing that over and over again, your muscles will get bigger. It's the exact same logic is applied with that. If you keep putting more reps into that, the muscle itself, that part will grow bigger, and the other part will grow smaller.
Obviously, you guys have scaled to a certain level, especially like Pyro itself. Is there a natural step now to be looking at BRR, or would you stick to the SA route of things?
Yeah, I like to just focus on doing the essay, and yeah, that's what I
What
would
would be the maybes and why you're not looking into BRR and going into bigger developments and projects?
because I just feel like the acceleration of the cash flow acceleration is just when you, like, for example, that apart hotel project.
Yeah.
If I put that 100k into buying, like, let's say one property, the cash flow, it's just slow money. So I feel like I can accelerate fast. Like if I just do a focus on something like a park hotel project instead.
Like one of those things where you just want to milk the cow until they go finish it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's one of those things. But one of the reasons why I haven't jumped into other things as well is the education side of things. There's a lot that goes into it. It takes months sometimes to complete. I think Yusuf, you've bought a property, right?
Yeah.
And the process is just insanely long. So getting educated on it, first of all, is long. Getting into it, making the losses, learning, that's so long sometimes, and it's like, is it even worth it at the moment?
I feel like with anything, if you want to do very, very well from it, it requires your full focus and full attention. Now, because my full focus and full attention is elsewhere, I'm not able to give that my full focus and full attention. Tyrone, now, you asked the question, okay, you invested X amount into, the apart hotels. Why didn't you take it into the BRRs? Well, because think about it, yeah. How many people, if they had 100k, would either invest it into apartment hotels or invest it into BRRs? Which group of people, like, how many people would invest more into the BRRs than the apartment hotels? Like, would there be more people investing into BRRs? Like, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Because, everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
So, like, there's nothing special about it. Whereas with that, he's got that unfair advantage. Most people won't do that because they don't have that knowledge, they don't have that understanding. But because he has that unfair advantage, because he has that knowledge and understanding, that same amount that he can take and put into that BRR that, yes, in theory, will appreciate over time. I mean, the reality is the cash flow's not all that. I think the place will go right now, it's like, what, £200, £300 cash flow a month. But that same amount now, take it and put into that, what's the profits looking like on that?
Yeah, so it's much bigger.
I mean, you don't like saying
Yeah, much bigger.
How are you finding it so far?
Bro, it's just amazing, man. The event is it's amazing so far. The students are taking massive value from it, getting knowledge and game from people that are already at a certain level. Like I said, we got people here that are doing 10k a month, 15k a month, certain people doing 50k a month. And bro, we're all sharing knowledge, we're all sharing game, and it's just amazing, man. And the network they're able to build whilst being here as well, and actually being a part of the community, the program, that part right there is very, very invaluable. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think it's a massive, massive part that a lot of people underestimate, is the power behind being around the right people, networking with the right people, connecting with the right people, because relationships run the world, man. So it's looking very good so far. These lot here, they're munching on some pizzas right now, man. We've got to treat them, you know what I mean? Well, I didn't get no steak or anything like that, but yeah, we're treating them well, to be fair. But man, there's a lot more to come, bro. There's a lot more to still come. There we go.